Hindi ako sasuko, lalaban hanggang sa dulo. Hindi ako sasuko, lalaban hanggang sa dulo. Taglay ko ang puso ng kampiyon. 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 Taglay ko ang puso ng kampiyon.
Makakamit mo ang pangarap, huwag na huwag kang bibitaw. Limitado ang paligid, layuan mo ang tanaw. Daming rason para sumako, buhay natin isa lang. Hindi paramihan, kundi kung ano mas matimbang. Ang lumiban, saka huli-huli ang proseso o manatili. Hanggat hindi tapos ang proyekto, maraming duda. Ako'y sinilang para kumumpleto sa kulang ng mga rumagasang natupso ng preno. Simulan na ang pagmarsya, huwag pahawa sa tumpok na nawala. Ganyan ng Pilipino, takot di pinapahalata. Kung kaya ng iba.
Good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to another episode of ProEx Basketball Talks. For today, we have 4 distinguished coaches in the spotlight who will share their views and opinions to our audience. But before we call on them, ito yung aking mga co-hosts for tonight. No other, syempre, unahin natin ang aking boss, Mr. Dodo Melicor.
Nadadali mo ako every week, boss.
Get used to it, boss.
Good afternoon, bro. Thank you again and again for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, alam mo, kakaiba itong mga iniisip mo pero nalilito ko mga very distinguished coaches itong mga guests natin for tonight.
Bro, yung iba dyan, di ba minsan nakikisabit ako as assistant coach. Yung iba nakatapat ko na, yung iba nakasama ko na. So, sobrang laki ng respect ko sa mga yan.
Yeah, sabi mo nga, siguro tama itong kinuha mong co-host natin ulit. Kasi I'm sure maraming tanong. Mas marami pang tanong to sa atin. Pupusta ko sa'yo.
For sure.
Okay, let's call on the lovely Monique Fetalvero.
Hi guys! Thank you for having me again.
Hey, Monique.
Monique, ikaw nang bahala sa amin, ha?
Sige po.
Mukhang regular na.
Yan. Okay, so huwag natin patagalin. Let's call on the coaches. First, let's call on Coach Ron Camara.
Hey, good afternoon po, Sir Brian, Sir Dodo, tsaka sa player ko, si Monique. Hi, sa lahat po ng sumusuporta ng ProEx. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Coach, magandang hapon.
Hi, Coach Ron. Yan, Coach Ron, dapat di magkamali ng tanong si Monique sa'yo, no?
Po?
Si Monique ako, dapat di magkamali ng tanong sa inyo.
Monique, nag-usap na tayo, pinex na kita kanina eh.
Yo. Also with us. Ayan. Also with us, let's call on Coach John C. Naka-mute po, sir.
Hello, good evening. Hi Brian, Dodo, and hi Monique, and Coach Ron. Long time no see, Coach. And
Coach,
to all the followers of ProEx, again, welcome. I'm sure madami kayong followers eh.
Si Dodo, si Boss Dodo yan, sir.
Kunyari lang.
Also with us, Coach Nats Imson.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Isa pang karangalan na pasama dito sa show ni napakasikat na si Mr. Dodo Melicor.
Kita mo, sabi sa'yo, sikat ki.
Parang naro-roast ako Delikado
Tala mo And last but not the least, we have Coach Joshua Sevidal.
Hi, good evening everyone. Good evening to Sir Brian, Sir Dodo, and to Monique, to my fellow coaches, mga nirespeto ko on and off the court. Good evening to the ProEx followers na mga lahat ng nanonood. Good evening po.
Hi, Coach.
Hello po. Hello.
Ayun.
This is going to be an interesting episode, bro.
Welcome sa mga boss ko na, Coach. Welcome.
Pero bago natin siguro sa ano yan, let's ask the coaches one by one. How are you doing? How are things going on your end? Let's start with Coach Ron.
Okay naman po. Sir Brian, salamat po. Okay naman po ngayon. Kaka-start lang po namin mag-training sa UAAP and then busy sa mga ibang business. Salamat po.
How about you, Coach John?
Doing good. We're okay. Ito, vaccinated na.
Yun.
I retired from Xavier this April, but still active with the program, helping the one who replaced me, si Coach Miguel. Again, my heart is still with basketball and with Xavier basketball. So, yun, tuloy pa rin.
Yun. Nawala si Coach Nat. So, Coach Josh, ikaw muna.
Yeah, I'm good po. Besides online training ng mga bata, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Since nag-start yung pandemic, then naghanap din, of course, ng mga online jobs para work from home. Yun po.
Yun. Nawala si Coach Nuts, bro.
Okay na,
Mamaya na lang.
Babalik yun.
Yeah, sige. So, sige, fire away. Ikaw na muna.
Sige. Ako, meron lang akong initial questions para sa mga coaches. Coach, ngayong pandemic, I'm also Coach John. Last year pa naman to when we all experienced this. When you had your team, Coach John, and the other coaches, now that you have teams also, anong adjustment ang ginawa nyo? Obviously, pati kids nag-adjust din lahat. Online training, strength and conditioning, and all that. As a coach naman, syempre may pain yun. Hindi nyo maturuan ng matino, ng maayos, hindi kompleto yung turo. Anong na-experience nyo nung pag-handle nyo nung pandemic of being a coach? Let's start with you, Coach John.
Actually, the first sigurong parang worry namin was being relevant. If are the coaches still relevant during the pandemic? Training online is something new, so we had to adjust. Lalong-lalo na, let's say ako, kasi I'm not really a techie. So medyo, paano to? I mean, I'm not really good with the computers. So there were different programs that you need to be familiar with for you to able to teach your boys. So medyo yun na nga, nakakatakot na nakakakaba na yun na nga, again, it's hard to stay relevant nowadays. Now we were trying when I left. So last year Xavier started our online training. So mahirap kasi gusto mong andun ka, ang hirap pag-correct during drills. Ang hirap kasi minsan wala kang magawa pag sinabi ng bata mahina ang connection eh. So tuloy lang. You just have to make it more interesting to them para magtiyaga. So yun.
Nakamute ka, bro.
Sorry, pinapractice ko lang kung nakamute.
Pati tuloy ako na nakawa sa'yo eh.
Every week na lang. Coach John, I understand you kasi nakikita ko rin ibang bata, yung struggles din nila from both ends as a player and as a coach. Ikaw naman, Coach Josh, anong na-feel mo, anong struggles mo during the start ng pandemic?
Hello.
Yeah, during start yung pandemic, I mean, nakala siguro natin lahat, mga 2 months, 3 months, tapos na. Kasi parang that time, sobrang konti pala ng cases. So, hindi natin na-expect na ganito pala katagal, hindi pa tapos. Siguro yung challenges lang, just like Doc John said, yung mga pag sa Zoom training, yung mga specifics na matuturo mo personal, pag nasa practice na sa court kayo, medyo mahirap kasi, and then, syempre, sobrang dami nila, more than at least 10 players. Titignan mo frame by frame kung tama ba yung ginagawa. Pero siguro sa akin, pinaka-importanteng na nawala is yung personal connection mo sa mga players. Kasi pag sa mga practices, tawagin mo lang sila, parang one-on-one talk, kahit hindi basketball, diba? Itong studies, about life. So this pandemic, I see to it na hindi ko lang sila kinakausap of course, may group chat kami as a team, pero I see to it na individually, parang kinakamusta ko sila. So, tawag or message man lang para at least may connection pa rin as a player na coach.
Ayun. Thank you, Coach Josh. Ikaw, Coach Ron, kamusta yun? Paano mo na-handle ang pandemic training and being a coach at the same time?
Pareho kami ni Coach Jan. Techie rin ako sa sa computer. Talaga nagpapatulong pa ako sa anak ko magpa-set up ng Zoom. Nung time namin last year, kasi sila Monique yung mga player ko last year bago, akala namin, tama, sinabi ni Coach, ilang months lang to matatapos din, pero hindi natin akalain na years na pala, ganoon. So, ang ginagawa ko lang, constant communication sa mga players ko, constant reminder na dapat stay fit pa rin sila, kasi anytime, pwede pa rin bumalik Anytime, pag bumalik na yung basketball, ready na sila. Hindi yung pagbalik ng basketball, tsaka pa lang ulit sila magpapakondisyon, tsaka pa lang ulit sila siyempre, ando rin, training na, pero yung condition niya sa sarili, na fit ka, yung lakas pa rin ng katawan mo. So, dapat ganun. Yun ang constant na ginagawa ko sa mga players.
Ayun. Thank you, Coach. Ayan na si Coach Nats. Coach Nats, ang hanging question is, during last year, yung pandemic, as a coach, anong nakita mong adjustment? May difficulty ba from your perspective, connection mo sa players, etc.? Tell us about your experience.
Okay. Major kasi sa amin Pagdating sa UPIS, major kasi we're just starting the program, yung 15 and under. No, so dapat we were supposed to hone our players through league, joining the leagues and everything, nawala yon. So yung growth nila medyo natigil ng konti. So what we did now, readjustment is we focused on their mental health, strength and conditioning, and their academics. Pero yung pagdating doon sa basketball ready, wala
Yeah. Oh, I understand, Coach, kasi yung isang bata mo, si Rocco, he tries his best, pero iba pa rin yung may kabanggaan, may kalaro. Di ba, Coach? Iba pa rin yung feeling ng totoong laro Oo, makakapag-shooting. Shooting ka, go. Shooting ka. Pero iba yung walang bantay. Iba yung... So, yeah, yun lang. Yun sa akin. Go ahead, Miss Monique. Anong questions mo sa coaches natin?
For me, before I ask my question, I want to say na all the answers of mga coaches sobrang totoo kasi as a player, nakikita ko rin yung struggles na meron yung mga teammates ko, meron din yung mga coaches. And like what Coach Nats said na parang you can't, hindi mo ma-prepare talaga. You can't prepare with this online setup right away. You need to do it step by step, like physical aspect and mental aspect as well. So before I ask my question, for the sake of our viewers, is it okay if I ask each coach to say which school they coach in and what age group? Let's start with Coach Ron.
Siyempre. Right now, I'm coaching senior high school girls, UAAP division. Siyempre, player ko dyan, si Monique. Number 1 player ko yan. And then, assistant coach also for women's UAAP basketball team.
Thank you, Coach Ron. Let's have Coach Josh next.
Yeah, I coach in LaSalle Green Hills. I handle the pastoral division. It's in between 12 to 15 years old. So, yun.
Thank you, Coach Josh. Let's have Coach Nats.
Okay, Coach Nats, I am handling the new division that we created for UPIS. So we haven't really joined any leagues yet. So it was just basically a preparation for the UAP team, UPIS.
Thank you. Lastly, let's have Coach John. Coach, nakamute po kayo.
Nakamute.
I used to coach for Xavier School. The age group that I was handling was the SBP and the 12 and 13 under team.
Thank you, Coach John. For my question naman, coming from Coach Nat's answer about mental health, how did you how are you mentally preparing your team for the future games? Like, paano nyo na-motivate yung mga players nyo para maging ready sila? Let's have Coach Josh.
Yeah, kasi ngayon mahirap talaga kasi wala tayong exact timeline kung kailan babalik. Kasi usually sa aming coaches, we prepare a timeline talaga. Kunwari, by December, dapat irito na yung condition natin or by that. Pero ngayon, so mentally, yung mga bata kasi more on online games. So, bawal sila lumabas. So, pinapayagan na lang namin muna sila mag-online games. Pero syempre, may limit, especially pag may school. So, ayun, online games, then my training, everything has a time naman eh. So, balance lang. So, para di rin sila mabalo sa bahay.
Tama yan, Coach Josh. Let's have Coach John next.
Okay. Well, pre-pandemic, usually we prepare the boys, making the practice light. When I say light, it's more medyo hindi siya heavy. So we try to tell the boys to study harder, and then during the pandemic, it's more kamustahan na lang. It's more kinakamusta namin sila. We usually individually we ask them kamusta sila, kamusta anong ginagawa nila. Every practice there's a solo time for everyone, just as parang meet and greet. Again, then may times na we tell them about again what's happening. Minsan kasi nagtatanong rin sila. Usually inquisitive na yung ages na hinahandle namin o hinahandle ko. So we try to explain to them what's really happening. And then katulad sabi ni Coach Joshua, problema lahat yan, games, palaging yan ang mga reklamo ng mga parents ngayon. Most of the time, their boys are into gaming. So kaya nga minsan it's yung time away from gaming, the parents actually lang naglo-look forward dun sa mga practices namin. Kasi that's a time away from the computer, from the iPads, from their cell phones. So yun.
I agree with you, Coach John, there, na parang mga lalaki kasi sobrang hilig sa mga online games. For women's kasi more on, more Netflix eh. So, online games aren't really our thing. So let's have next. Let's have Coach Nats next.
Okay. Um, with us kasi, medyo, it's a little bit tricky. Like, because like what I said, this is a new program. Meron pa nga kaming mga teammates. Di pa kami lahat buong team nagka face-to-face. So, meron kaming mga bagong players na di pa nila nakikita yung mga teammates nila. So, what I did is we scheduled every Monday team meeting. We talk about all the mental preparation because we're trying to build a winning culture sa UPIS because as you know, we haven't been
Ala, naputol.
Naputol si Coach Nats.
Sige. Si Coach, naman yata, Ron. No, Monique. Siya na yung
Coach
iba.
Ron na lang.
Sige.
Ako katulad ng sinabi ko kanina na open ng communication every like last year twice a week yung training, constant communication, tapos tama yung sinabi ni Monique yung boys kasi more on gadgets, ang girls team more on Netflix. So may time kami last year na may pinanood kami movie yung kay Coach Carter, tapos kanya-kanyang opinion, sharing kami lahat. So yun yung mga ginagawa namin last year. Tapos at the same time, yung skills namin sa yung preparation na pag dumating na at okay na yung COVID o clear out na lahat, hindi kami mabubulaga. Parang, ready pa rin kami kasi lahat kami fit. Yun yung ginagawa namin.
Thank you, Coach Ron. Agree po sa lahat ng mga answers niya na parang you really have to make kamusta. You have to bond with your players para you could help them be more mentally prepared for the moment where games will finally resume. So that's it for me. Let's have Coach Dodo for the next question.
Don't call me coach, nahiya ako sa mga kasama natin dito, hindi ako legit na coach. Anyway, my question to the fine gentleman is anong advice nyo for a 8-9-year-old kid, boy or girl, who wants to try out say next year, gusto ko mag-try out. Ano ang tip nyo sa isang bata para matanggap siya or magka-confidence siya? Anong tip nyo sa isang magta-try out? Coach Nats.
isa lang naman tatanong ko Kailangan mo lang malaman kung gaano niya kagusto, lalo dito sa panahon natin. Kasi you have to be very determined during these times. Kasi kung kunaring gusto mo lang para lang makapag-try out, bibigay ka Sa tanong pa lang na yun, makukuha mo na kung talagang maging successful siya sa tryout niya.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Coach John, ikaw, anong tip mo for a boy or girl that would want to try out? Mute.
I agree with Coach Nats na kailangan talaga gusto nila. They really like what they're doing. Kasi andun yung determination, andun yung discipline. Because if kadalasan gusto lang ng mami ko mag-try out ako, gusto lang ng daddy ko mag-try out ako, medyo mahirap yon. Kahit na skilled sila, in the end of the day, pag napipilitan sila, they're going to quit or they're not. It's going to be half-hearted. Unlike somebody who would really want to play the game, doesn't matter if he gets in during the tryout. He will try again the next year and try again the next year until gumagaling siya, until matanggap siya. And I think that determination, yun yung maganda So dapat talaga gustuhin nila I want to play the game. Yun yung importante diyan, andun yung heart nila eh.
Yeah.
So lahat kasi yan tuturo eh. Dribbling, foundation, shooting, running, everything is basic yan eh. Natuturo natin lahat yan. Pero pagka mahirap ituro yung puso. So pagka hindi pag ayaw sumunod ng bata, hindi talaga eh. So um I believe na kailangan talaga gusto mong maglaro. Yun.
Thank you, Coach. Kaya ko kasi natatanong kasi maraming ProEx boys and girls na at that age 8 to 10 years old. I'm sure some of them are watching, kaya that's the reason I asked. Ikaw naman, Coach Ron, anong tip mo sa mga gustong mag-try out in the future?
Ako, hindi ko nire-reject yung ganyan. Yung pag kunyari may mga bata na gusto maglaro ng basketball. Sample ko yung anak ko. 10 years old siya. Sabi niya, Dad, tatay, gusto ko matuto mag-basketball. Gusto ko maging varsity rin. So, sa akin, tama si Coach dyan. Natuturo lahat yung mga basic skills. Lahat na ituturo yun. Pero pag nakitaan mo ng passion sa bata, iba yun eh. Kumbaga, puso yun eh. Gusto niya talaga yung basketball. Love niya yung basketball. So, mas maganda na suportahan natin. So, bigay natin kung ano yung tama, kung ano yung gusto, at makikita na lang natin kung magtutuloy or hindi.
Thank you, Coach Ron. Salamat. Coach Josh?
Yeah, I agree with the other coaches. It's all about dedication tsaka determination to get in the team. And lalo na sa mga yung 8 to 10 years old na age bracket, may mga talaga yung iba napipilitan lang, parang sinabihan na ng daddy mag-tryouts ka, pero makita mo sa court na may skill pero parang he doesn't enjoy the game. So mga ganun age bracket naman, makita mo pa lang 5-on-5, makita mo na sino yung nag-enjoy, even though kahit wala pang masyadong skills, they make the effort place, yung kumbaga, di ba? Parang talagang they see to it na mag-effort ako sa loob ng court, kahit di ako makashoot, basta mapansin ako ng coaches.
Thank you, Coach Josh. Like I said, sana yung mga nakikinig na bata, please listen to these guys at alam nila yung sinasabi nila. Bro Brian, go ahead.
Ako naman, tatanong ko lang sa mga coaches kasi I think it was Coach John who mentioned it earlier na most of us, you were not that techy, but given the pandemic, it was we had to adjust to the use of technology. And the one thing I've noticed with the athletes, with kids, is adapting to online training. I'm just curious from the coaches, how hard was it to transition to this kind of training given our condition? Let's start with Coach Josh.
Yeah, for us coaches, this was very hard. Kasi syempre sanay kami sa court, sa loob ng court. We practice offensive schemes, defensive schemes, plays. So, which is di mo naman pwede practice sa Zoom. Sa Zoom, more on strength and conditioning, skills. So, yun. And just like what Coach Ron said, yung pinaka-important na I think nag-adjust yung communication kasi dati, pre-pandemic, nakikita kayo ng boys 3 to 5 times a week. Almost every day, di ba? Pag weekend, sama-sama kayo. I mean, di lang sa loob ng court, nakakamiss din yung samahan outside the court, syempre. Dun mabibuild yung camaraderie nyo as a team. So, yun.
Coach John? Naka-meet po, Coach.
Just like what Coach Josh said, mahirap kasi if you're teaching drills, kahit na strength and conditioning lang, you try to correct them. Usually, pagka naka-Zoom, pag kinorek mo, ang hirap i-correct individually. Yun yung pinaka mahirap doon kasi magki-carry on yung bad habits Lalong-lalo na if you're, sa bagay, it doesn't matter if you're teaching 8, 9, 10 years old until you're teaching college, you're teaching juniors team, ganun pa rin. May bad habits yan. So kailangan, ang hirap pag-correct. And tapos minsan it's yung concentration nila, syempre distracted din sila. Yung focus nila, it's not there. On the other hand, yung coaches din minsan nasa bahay, syempre hindi naman all the time yung focus andun din ang dami mong tinitingnan, nakakahilo rin I mean, in a Zoom practice, you're looking at 15 players were 3 coaches, so that's 5 boys per coach. Ang hirap, let's say kung hindi ka naka-laptop, let's say naka-cellphone ka while undergoing that Zoom training, medyo ang hirap. There's so much challenges, yun na nga. Pero ganun talaga kailangan gawin. So, yun lang. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. Coach Nats?
I'm sorry. I missed the question. Can somebody repeat it, please?
Coach, is just more on the difficulties you had to endure having to adjust to these online needs. Nawala si Coach. Okay. Okay. Coach Ron, ikaw na lang.
Mahirap. Mahirap talaga kasi sanay kami na on the spot, nagko-correct kami. On the spot, talagang sinasabi namin, ito yung tamang stance, tamang gagawin, especially pag sa defense or sa mga skills. And then, talagang kailangan namin mag-adjust So, nag-adjust kami sa new normal. So, ginawa namin, pag sa strength and conditioning, kailangan nilang i-video yung gagawin nila para makorek namin. Kasi mahirap pag kunyari, yung 15 players magsasabay-sabay, bini-video nila, kunyari, gagawa ka ng plank o tama ba yung stance mo, tama ba yung ganito. Lahat kailangan, ganun pa rin. Kailangan pa rin ituro, gagawa ka ng paraan talaga kung paano mo maituturo at paano masasabi ng tama na hindi nila pa uulit-ulit kasi siyempre magkakaroon ng bad habits. Akala nila tama na yun pero hindi pala. Ito pala yung mas tama. So, kailangan namin coaches, as coach, kailangan namin mag-adjust sa new normal na usually ito na yung ginagawa namin.
Follow up ko lang that to all the coaches. I mean, yun nga, sinabi nyo, this is something we have to adjust to. Do you feel that assuming everything gets back to normal, it will make life harder for you to get the old things back, like conditioning, what used to actual physical play? Do you think it's going to be double your efforts should need to be doubled? Coach Ron, kayo.
Sa tingin ko po, tama po yun. Kasi pag kunyari bumalik na po sa normal, kailangan double effort. Like for example, yung sinasabi ko nga kanina na if ever bumalik ang UAAP, binibigyan kami ng 2 months backward. So kailangan mag-double talaga kami nun. So dapat, yung strength and conditioning, ready na dapat ang player nun. Hindi pwedeng 2 months, dun ka palang magpapalakas ng strength and conditioning mo. So hindi pwede yun. So dapat ngayon pa lang, inaayos na namin para pagdating ng season time, kahit bigyan kami ng 2 months, 1 month or ready na yung mga bata. Siguro adjustment na lang yun kung paano yung offense and defense, tsaka yung philosophy ng team.
How about you, Coach John?
Yes, mahirap. Kasi kung isipin nyo, parang 2 taon nang nawala sa mga bata. It's 2 years. I mean, you lose several months of training. Medyo mabigat na 2 years pa kaya. So kahit na let's say nag-online training kami, um, iba pa rin yung actual. Kahit na let's say araw-araw nilang ginagawa yon, they can only do so much alone and inside their house. So going back to physical training, face-to-face training is going to be a very big challenge for all the players and the coaches. Lalong-lalo na kung katulad ng sabi ni Coach Ron, 2 months lang binibigay sa kanila. Ang hirap nung 2 months lang nga na nag-training ka tapos bibigay sa'yo 2 months na training before a UAAP. Medyo ibang klaseng adjustment eh. Yung parang from zero ka or sabi mo nang let's say nasa 10, 15, 20% ka into up to let's say hanggang mga 100% ka, medyo malaki-laki yung adjustment. It's going to be very very challenging for athletics. So yon.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Josh?
Yes, I agree with the other coaches. Talagang pagbalik sa normal, medyo we have to double your effort, lalo na sa aming coaches. Kasi just like what Sir Dodo said kanina, iba yung basketball na may bantay eh. Yung may biglang bubunggo sa'yo pagka-drive mo. Kasi yung training nila ngayon, talagang more on skills lang, pero wala namang bantay. Pag-drive nila, layup na kagad eh. So, then sa team concept, mahirap din, we'll double our time kasi may kaming coaches, may mga system na yan, may we run plays or defensive rotations. Dati, parang magsisignal lang kami na 1 or 2. Alam na ng mga bata yan. Pero pagbalik, we have to review everything para mabalik yung rhythm nila and timing nila sa court. Yun yung nawala din. Yung timing and yung rhythm sa basketball court.
Alright. Thank you. Okay, Monique.
Let's go naman pre-pandemic and before let's go to the very start. What made you go into coaching? Like, what pushed you and what made you decide na ay gusto ko maging coach? Gusto ko mag-coach ng isang team. Let's have Coach John first.
Okay, mine was really an accident. I entered Xavier 1995. Eksakto, nakikita ko nung SBP coach ng Xavier. Sabi niya, I used to play for Xavier. So nakilala niya ako and then sabi niya, baka gusto mo mag-coach. Sabi ko, sige, why not? Wala naman akong ginagawa sa extra time. Because I started coaching the Paya Midgets team. And from then on, yun na, tuloy-tuloy na. Interesting, challenging. I like the competitiveness. I like teaching the boys. I learn from them. Mas madami akong natututunan sa kanila kaysa sa sila natututunan sa akin siguro. But you know, it was fun. It was I missed it right now. I miss the competitiveness during weekends, the practices every Mondays to Fridays. So yun, yeah.
Thank you, Coach John. Gusto ko po yung sinabi niyo na as a coach, di ba dapat ikaw yung nagtuturo? Pero while you said yourself na while you were coaching, parang ikaw yung mas natuto sa mga players niyo. That's really a good thing. Let's have Coach Ron next.
Ako, nag-start ako mag-coaching 26 years ago sa Ateneo. Pinagsabay ko, nursing graduate ako ng nursing. At the same time, nagwo-work na ako as assistant coach sa SBP Ateneo. So, this class, parang nakita ulit kami nung coach ko dati, si Coach J. Salvador. Shout out kay Coach J. Salvador. Siya yung head coach ko sa high school. Tapos, ininggan niya na ako mag-coach ng basketball, bumalik ulit. At yun, pinagsabay ko yung pag-aaral at pagko-coach ko sa basketball. Passion ko kasi talaga yun eh. Tapos naging motivation ko sa mga bata, yung pagtuturo talaga. Yun ang na-motivate ako sa kanila eh. Na parang computer, pag bumili ka ng bagong computer, ikaw mag-i-install ng kung ano yung gusto mong ituro sa bata. So yung pagiging disiplina, yung character nila, yung passion or love sa basketball, saka yung attitude nila inside and outside the court. So, yun yung naging gusto ko kung bakit ako nagtuturo pa rin ng basketball.
Thank you, Coach Ron. Kapag passion talaga, kailangan may pursue until the long run, di ba? So, thank you, Coach Ron. Let's have Coach Josh next.
Honestly, no start, I had no plans of coaching talaga at all. Coming out of college, grad data ako noong 2014 or 15. So I was applying for a corporate work. So while waiting, na-invite ako ni Coach Matthew, may batchmate in the Green Hills na nauna sa akin mag-coach 1 year. So na-invite niya ako na manood ng practices, observe lang. So, yun, wala naman akong ginagawa eh. So, 3 times a week ako nag-observe ng practices. Then after mga 2 weeks, siguro unknowingly, sumasama na ako sa mga drills. Tinutulungan ko na si Coach Matthew sa preparation ng practices. Then yun, eventually, kinausap niya ako with Coach Justin. And, ayun. Tapos, after 3 months, tumatawag na yung mga corporate companies, mga ina-applyan ko, na hindi ko na napuntahan yung mga interview. So, I decided to parang tuloy na yung coaching kasi na-develop na rin yung passion ko and yung parang relationship with the kids. Parang naroon na rin ako sa kanila.
Thank you, Coach Josh. Thank you to all the coaches for your answers. For my next question naman, as a coach, which would you prefer? Star players or role players? Let's have next. Coach John.
Ako, controversial yata yan, ha? Star player or role players. Pwede bang pareho? pareho mong kailangan. I guess star players, they start as role players din naman eh. Most of them started from the bottom. Lalong-lalo na on our end kasi since I coach 10, 11, 12, 13. So, although may mga angat na rin kaagad, makikita mo naman sa mga bata na may mga angat na kaagad yung skill level nila eh. The others are hindi pa. But in the end, usually it nagsasabay din yan. So, pareho. Role player and star players. As long as they work hard, that's the I think that's the key there.
Thank you, Coach John, for that great answer. Let's have Coach Ron next.
Ako parehas. Star player tsaka role player. Kasi parehong kailangan mo yan eh. Kasi yung isa, didepensa, yung isa, re-rebound, yung isa, mag-shoot. So talagang hindi pwedeng isa lang kasi kaya nga team eh. Dapat nagtutulungan sila. Kaya para mas maganda yung team, hindi ay. Kumbaga, kailangan mo ng star player, kailangan mo rin ng role player.
Thank you, Coach Ron. Tama yan na sinabi niyo na parang each player may sarili silang contribution sa team na parang each one of them has one thing to give. So with each one that your players have, parang solid na magiging team nyo dun eh. So thank you, Coach Ron. Again, let's have Coach Josh next.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Ron and Doc John, Coach John. You need both talaga to be competitive or if you want to win a championship. Di pwedeng star player lang, di rin pwedeng, syempre, di rin pwedeng role player. So, you need both. Then naman, before start ng league, or every start ng league, may ina-assign kang role sa isang player. Ito, taga dirty work, ito, taga score. And you need their, important sila sa, lalo na sa mga big games. So, hindi pwedeng star player lang magpapakita. And hindi rin pwede role player lang yung mag-rebound. Parang ano rin sila just like what Coach John said, regardless kung star player ka or role player ka, ang importante yung work ethic mo sa practice.
Thank you, Coach Josh, and to the coaches. Tama po yung mga sinabi niyo na you need both a star player and a role player in order to have a really good team. Let's have Sir Brian for the next question.
Actually, si Dodo na muna. Sige, si Boss Dodo. O magalit sa akin.
Hindi, pasingit lang. Gusto ko lang mag-thank you sa sponsor natin. Soul
Hello?
Academy.
Nice.
Soul Academy. They're going to give away shirts and other apparel. They sell shoes, apparel, and all that. Marami sila sa iba-ibang malls. Anyway, madami tayong friends na nanonood. Nakikita ko si Wilson Lagaras of BBI, yung hindi masyadong makulit. May phone-in question siya. Sabi niya, hindi ba kayo nagre-reklamo sa scheduling ng BBI? Dahil siya nag-schedule. And then, meron din akong fan ni Monique, Lola O'Neill Bendition. Kilala mo ba ito, Monique? And also, nag-message si Coach Nats, paputol-putol yung connection niya. Apologies daw. Kasi nandun siya sa bar niya. He owns a bar in Pasig called 101. Nandun siya, so medyo nahirapan yung connection niya. Question. Let's make it fun. Coach, meron na ba kayong nakita sa ibang team? Say, kunyari, Xavier or Ateneo or Lasal, tas may nakalaban kayo na ako alam ko kagad anong sagot dito. As a parent, may nakalaban kayo tapos na-feel nyo, grabe naman yung batang yun, ang lakas. Sino ba yun? Galing naman nun. Grabe skills ng batang yun. And kung meron na kayo nakitang ganon, kung naalala nyo yung batang yun, sino yung batang yun? Coach Josh.
Yeah, ako meron. Nag-start pa lang ako ron actually. Parang I was under Coach Carl. Nag-assistant ako sa kanya and parang nagsabay yung games So, pinahandle niya sa akin yung isang game, which is a BBI game, Sir Wilson. So, we were up against San Sebastian. Then, sabi ni Coach Carl, parang bantayan mo yung magaling dyan yung point guard. So, tinignan ko yung point guard. So, starting pala ako ron, hindi ko alam yung history ng mga players. So, his name was Kian Baclaan. So, parang nag-drop siya ng 40 points, 20 rebounds, 15 assists ata. Parang nahilo ako. Parang sabi ko, first coaching ko, kagad si Kian na kagad yung assignment. So yun. Ayun lang, parang nabinyagan ako ng batang yun sa coaching. Grabe, ginawa sa akin.
Oo, sobrang galing nun, Coach. Ikaw, Coach John.
Ang dami. Diyos ko, kailangan ko bang mataalala lahat? 26 years of coaching. Ang dami. Every team, every league, you have to prepare every time. So, I remember playing against Jolo Mendoza siguro. I remember we played against them in a championship. Player ko si Tyler Tio noon. Jolo was yes, I was the assistant yata, I remember. That was Paya Mini. Jolo was playing for Ateneo. Tyler Teo was playing for Xavier. I think we lost by 5 points yata or 3 points. Tyler scored 48, 50 points. Jolo scored 60. Nahilo ko ron. And then there was a time si Jeron Teng was my player. We played against Lasal Green Hills. Paya Midgets din. Si Torres. The younger Torres. Kapatid ni Axel, the
Thomas?
younger one. So we were,
Thomas.
sabi ko, Tomas Torres.
Thomas.
Yes. Grabe yon. Grabe. And then Kiefer, we played against Kiefer. Again, Paya Midgets din yon. Dami, Richie Rivero. Sa Chonglian, I remember playing against Gallego, Fran Yu. That was one team, Shanghai Shek. Nakakasira ng ulo para mag-prepare ng game plan sa mga ganyang klaseng players. Lalong-lalo na kung, di ba, syempre, superior yung talent nila eh. So mag-scheme ka ng depensa, parang minsan di mo na alam anong gagawin mo eh. Sabi ko, tama na. Sige. But it was fun. Again, matututo ka. That's why sabi ko, matututo ka sa mga, not hindi lang sa mga players mo, pero doon sa mga kalaban mo rin. Matututo ka sa kanila. And again, that's the reason why our program has improved through the years, playing against this kind of players.
Thank you, Coach John. Ikaw, Coach Ron, meron ka na bang mga ganon?
Nako, sobrang dami rin. Kaya yung sinabi ni Coach John, 26 years din of coaching. Baka mamaya may makalimutan kasi ako na magagaling yan. Ginagawa ko na lang dito. Best example ko si Kiefer Rabena. Una, kalaban niya Ateneo sa Pasarel championship game. Talo sila noon eh. Sa SBT siya, sa Pasarel ako. Talo sila noong time na yon. Pero nung nakita ko na umiyak yung bata, nilapitan ko kasi yun eh. Sabi ko, Keith, okay lang yan. Ganun talaga. Kailangan mo pa mag-practice. May sinablay kasi siya eh. Sinablay niya yung layup niya tsaka jump shot niya na panalo. So, ginawa ko nung time yan. Kinuusap ko yung bata. Tapos, kinuha ko sa junior PBA. Sa first junior PBA ng liga. Bata pa ni Kiefer noon, mga 11 or 12. Tapos nag-champion kami sa first junior PBA. Ang ginawa ko, pinagkukuha ko na sila ngayon sa Ateneo para hindi mawala na sakit ng ulo namin. So yung magagaling ng player na yon, sipin mo sa SBP time. Kiefer Rabena sa Lasal Green Hills, El Banal sa Xavier, JV Dumrique, Ateneo, pinagsama-sama ko. Talaga nag-champion kami. Wala all the way. Maski hanggang junior sila, sweet yun. Walang tumalo sa kanila. Parang, tapos nasundan. Remember ko rin, yung isa rin na si Wami Chongson from CSA. Gumagawa rin yung isang player ko na yun si Wami, si Magic. Gumawa siya ng 60 points pero natalo sila ng Ateneo nila JV Dumrique at ni Kevin Gamboa by ilang points lang pero 60 points ang ginawa niya. So katabi ko nun si Coach Chot Reyes, sabi ni Coach Chot, Coach, pag yan hindi napunta sa Ateneo, sakit ng ulo ng Ateneo yan. So that time na pinagkukuha ko namin. So nag-champion talaga Ateneo all the way in juniors. So marami. Meron pa ako, last na nakalaban ko talaga, na kinuha ko na rin, yun nasa Ateneo, si Ian Espinosa. Ian Espinosa, binigyan niya ako ng 3 championship during summer. Una kalaban ko muna siya last year sa City Hoops under kay Coach Homer Bautista. Tapos next year, kinuha na namin nung paglipat niya ng Ateneo, yung isang summer, nag-champion kami. BBI, 2 division sa BBI, saka isang division sa Milco kay Coach Allen. So, yung mga magagaling, pupunta sa Ateneo, sorry Coach, sa Lasal saka sa Xavier. Pero siyempre talagang nakukuha namin kasi magaling talaga sila. Ganun talaga.
Salamat, Coach Ron. Ako kasi kaya ako natanong yun bilang parent. Grabe, na-i-impress ako sa ibang players. I'll name a few. Coach John, yung tres nung isang bata mo, si Gavin Uy, we played against UPIS kami. Lamang kami ng 10 yata o 11. 3 lang ng bata, burado kagad yung lamang. Grabe. Tapos itong si Josh, obviously we know Gian and Brian. Ano yung dalawang yun eh? All-star eh, grabe, Coach Josh. And sa Ateneo, ang na-experience ko, although naging teammate ng son ko sa SBPC, isa sa favorites ko si Third Ebdane. So, kasi gusto ko yung bata. And naging guest natin dito a month ago, matalino rin, magaling din sumagot, Brother Brian. So, that's the reason I asked kung meron kayong nakikita. Kasi ako, as a parent, I see talents na never ending eh. Kada laro, tama ka, Coach John eh. Ang dami. And, I just had to mention a few. Ayun, Brother Brian, go ahead.
Ako, may tanong ko sa coaches ito. Tinatanong din sa akin to. Ano ang mas madaling i-coach? Yung mas matanda or yung bata? Coach Ron.
Ako, mas gusto kong i-coach yung mas bata. Kasi na lahat ng level, nakapag-coach ako. Nag-coach ako ng grade school, nag-coach na ako ng high school, nag-coach na ako ng college. Yung bata kasi, sumusunod eh. Pag ano yung sinabi ng coach, sumusunod at saka nag-i-enjoy kami. Parang, ganito pag ginawa mo to, mas magmumukha kang magaling yan. So talaga sinusunod ng bata kasi wala pa siyang alam eh, hindi pa ganun ka-skill yung basta alam niya, pag sinabi ni coach, ito yung gagawin ko. Yun ang grade school. Pagdating naman sa high school level, kailangan pag may sinabi ka sa player, dapat magmumukha na siya magaling. Hindi mo na kailangan elaborate. Kasi pag may sinabi ka sa kanila na mali, pag talikod mo, wala naman alam yung coach namin eh. Kasi nakakaranas ako ng gano'n eh. Naririnig ko yun eh. Uy, masama yung ginagawa. Kasi sinasabihan ko talaga sila na sumunod ka sa coach. Yun ang high school. Kailangan, pag nag-coach ka ng high school, meron kang alam. Kasi pag wala kang alam, pagtatawanan ka, kakainin ka ng coach. Kakainin ka ng player, sorry. Sa college, iba ang usapan. Kailangan sa college, makuha mo yung trust nila na mabigyan mo sila ng magkakapalitan kayo. Kailangan bigay mo yung tiwala sa player para makuha niya na, sige, ilalaro ko to. Kasi sa college, may kilala ko, sobrang galing niya ng high school, pero pagdating niya ng college, nawawala siya. Meron naman, hindi ganun kagaling sa high school, pero pagdating ng college, sobrang galing. Kasi yung trust eh. Kumbaga, ito na yun eh. Siyempre, pagdating mo ng college, ibang usapan na yun eh. Pagkatapos ng college, magpo-pro na sila. So, kailangan nila magpakamatay. Kailangan nila ipakita yung Pero yung iba, hindi eh. So, ako talaga, mas enjoy ako sa grade school, sa grassroots. Grassroots.
Okay. How about you, Coach Josh?
Yeah, I agree also with Coach Ron. Kasi ako naman, experience ko lang mag-coach 5 years ago. It started sa grassroots din. So, mga 8 to 10 years old yun. And eventually, umangat din hanggang nag-coach ako recently yung mga 13 to 15 years old. And ewan ko, para sa akin, mas enjoy mag-coaching sa 8 to 10 years old. Mga bata talaga kasi mas makita mo yung parang tutuwa ka yung parang pure talaga yung love nila sa game, sa basketball. And then yung pag naturuan mo sila ng isang skill or between the legs man na, behind the back, tuwan-tuwa sila na parang, coach, nagawa ko, tapos yun, parang gano'n. Kasi compared sa pastoral level, medyo talagang seryosohan na coaching. I mean, talagang may strategy kayo, bawal enjoy din naman, pero stressful eh. So, pero kasama sa coaching yun. Kaya, so I enjoy yung same with Coach Ron, yung grassroots level, parang mas fulfilling din na makita mo yung from zero yung bata. Then after a year, makita mo yung gradual improvement nila. Lalo na siguro, pag nakita mo high school or college level na gano'n nakagaling or nag-pro pa, parang magiging proud ka na sabihin mo sa akin nagsimula yan.
Alright. And Coach John? Nakamit po, Coach.
Mute, coach.
Same sa kanila, no? Siyempre mas bata. Mas enjoy, mas malleable sila, para silang sponge kung ano ituro mo. Although nakakatakot din since since parang sponge sila, kung ano ituro mo, papasok yun sa kanila eh. Magiging in the end, ipapakita nila yon in the future eh. So pag mali yung turo mo, tatatak sa kanila yon eh. So kailangan careful ka rin kung ano yung mga natuturo mo. So kailangan sure ka na tama ba to, or you know, the way you approach them, it's you have to be careful kasi baka ma-turn off, baka matanggal yung interest. It's challenging. It's for yung 26 years of experience ko is mostly from the grassroots level. Although I tried coaching high school and kahit na not college but the older than college, yung mga graduate na. So mas iba yung level. So mas masarap turuan ng bata kasi tama si Coach Joshua, parang may purity eh. Kita mo yung purity ng basketball nasa kanila ngayon eh. It's just love of the game. And there's no other reason for them to play but just to play the game. Yun yung maganda ron eh. Sa iba kasi may rason na kung bakit sila naglalaro. For the little kids, they play because they love it. They want to dribble the ball, they want to run around, they want to expend their energies, they want to learn, and they want to copy their idols. So masaya siya.
Alright. Okay. Monique? Sige, Doc.
Pasingit lang, may follow-up question. Monique, pasingit lang. I have a follow-up question. But before the follow-up question, nakikita ko nagko-comment si Coach Mel Lantin who owns Fit21. He's a strength and conditioning coach siya. And sana mag-guest. Coach Mel, baka pwedeng i-message mo ako. I want to guest you soon. Anyway. Ang follow-up question ko, you mentioned kasi the young kids, grassroots. Habang players nyo yung mga batang yon, 9 years old, 10, 11, ang question ko ngayon, which was suggested by O'Neil Bendicion, ano ang thoughts nyo sa stage moms, stage dads, stage parents? I have to admit, I'm guilty. Ang hirap bilang dad, tas pinapanood mo yung son mo. Ano ang thoughts nyo sa stage parents? Coach John?
Well, naging parent din ako eh. My two sons played in Xavier, played with me, played with my team. I remember my eldest son, when he played with me, teammate niya noon sila Jarrell Lim, Isaac Go, bangko sa akin, bangko. So palagi akong pinapagalitan ng asawa ko. Bakit ko daw hindi pinapasok yung anak niya? So the pressure was coming from the house. Katabi ko matulog, kulang na lang paluin ako ng ano. And then my other son, Juancho, was a better player than during the time when I coached them. So mas gamit. So and whenever whenever a parent goes to me and complains about his son, I always give that as an example. Sabi ko, wala akong favoritism. I just use them kumbaga, I base their playing time on what I see in practices. If they work hard in practice, and then bibigyan ko ng chance. Iba naman yung sa games. I remember years ago when there was a couple of parents complaining about the playing time of their kids. Sabi ko, sige, magpapa-open practice ako. Manood kayo during the practice of your kids and tell me your honest opinion. Do they deserve the playing time that they're getting? So sige, open practice. And they see what their kids were doing. So I'm honest with the parents. So I'm pag ano naman I've been fair with everyone. So parang mahirap I think mahirap kasi maraming lalo na with Xavier, medyo ibang klase mga magulang rin eh. So I guess in all schools, no, as long as we talk about parents, it's their child, than anybody else. So ang importante is may tiwala sa yung magulang eh. So pagka tinanong ka, sinagot mo, maniniwala sa iyo. So yun ang pinaka-importante doon eh. So and it's very hard to have the trust. You have to build it through the years of coaching, and not just giving championships. Hindi lang sa championship kasi nagsa-champion kayo, biglang may tiwala na yung mga parents. Hindi rin eh. Nakikita ko yun eh. Kasi champion kayo this year, next year, hindi na kayo nagsa-champion. Aangal na yan eh. As long as, again, you properly explain to them the situation is. So, maintindihan nila yun. Maintindihan nila.
Thank you, Coach. Meron lang may Xavier School represent from Harry C.
He's my brother from Singapore.
Oh, hi. Hello, Singapore. Ayun, ikaw, Coach Ron, anong thoughts mo sa mga stage parents, stage dads and moms?
Normal pala yun. Yung nararamdaman ng stage dad or stage mom, yung parents. Kasi ngayon, parents na rin ako eh. Lalo na pag intense yung game, naranasan ko yun sa anak ko dahil siyempre intense, gusto ko dapat ganito. So, ang ma-advise ko sa mga na mga parents, sa sarili ko rin, na pagtiwalaan nila yung coach, ibigay nila yung tiwala sa coach. Kumbaga, mag-viewer ka na lang, maging tatay ka. Kasi, lalo na pag, mahirap yan, lalo na kapag yung parents, yun din ang sport na nagko-coach siya, tapos tatay pa siya, ang hirap talaga nun. So, parents, kailangan magtiwala na lang tayo sa coach ng anak natin. Kasi magbe-benefit din naman nito yung anak natin eh. Siguro, masasuggest ko na after ng game, lalo na pag nanalo, good job, ganyan tuloy-tuloy mo yung ginagawa mo na. Pero pag natalo, ako, ginagawa ko sa pag nanalo siya, good job, pag natalo, kinakausap ko sa sinasabi. Pero yung pag kinakausap ko, kaming dalawa lang. Na, anak, mas maganda kung ganito yung ginawa mo. Anak, subukan mo to kasi baka sa susunod, mas malaking chance mo na manalo, maibigay mo yung best mo. Tipong mga ganon. Siyempre, naintindihan ko dahil dati, nung wala pa akong anak, halos hindi ko naman nakakalaban yung o nakakaawa yung mga magulang, pero siyempre kahit papaano parang nawawalaan sila ng tiwala. Uy, teka lang, coach ako. Parents kayo, dyan muna kayo. Stay muna kayo dyan. So ngayon, okay na ako. Naiintindihan ko na normal pala yun. Ganun
Thank you,
talaga.
Coach.
Pero siyempre, sa lahat ng coach, advice ko, sa lahat ng coach, sa lahat ng parents, bigyan na lang natin yung tiwala natin sa coach. Kasi coach ng anak natin yun eh. Manood na lang tayo, mag-enjoy tayo kung ano man yung nagagawa ng anak natin.
Thank you, Coach. Sa tip mo, bilang parent, ang hirap talaga eh. Coach Josh, ikaw, anong thoughts mo sa stage mom or dad?
Yeah, when I started coaching, talagang akala ko yung trabaho namin as coaches is mag-coach lang, ng mga bata. Make plays, parang turuan ng basketball yung mga bata. And eventually, through the years, parang naisip ko, mas mahirap pala mag-manage ang parents. Yes, mga bata. So, kasi yung bata, nakikinig pa yan. Yung mga ibang magulang, di ba, mga kulit na. Pero, I mean, never pa naman ako naging father. Pero, I mean, as much as possible, nilalagay ko yung sarili ko sa sitwasyon ng, lalo ng mga father, mga daddy. For me, yung basta hindi naapektuhan yung laro na, yung team, and yung bata mismo, hindi siya naapektuhan. So, go lang, kausapin niya. Pero, yung mga times kasi, hindi lang yung bata naapektuhan, pati yung buong team. So, yung mga times na yun, I talk to them personally. In private naman, na parang there's a line between being a stage parent na minsan overboard eh. Then regarding dun sa if ever man may mag-complain sa playing time, just like what Coach John said, pinapanood ko sila ng training, ng practice. Kasi doon naman, every coach naman doon ibinibase yung playing time eh, sa kung ano ipapakita ng bata sa practice. So, hindi naman kami magpapasok ng player na hindi nag-practice isang linggo. Diba? I mean, so yeah, yun po.
Thank you, Coach Josh. Monique, go ahead. Go ahead, Monique.
For me, my question is, as a coach, ano po yung mas importante sa inyo? Offense or defense? Let's have Coach John.
Ako defense. It's more, sabi nga nila, defense wins championship. So mas nagko-concentrate ako sa depensa. Mas kasi minsan yung defense can create their own offense eh. Like let's say when you trap, when you play man to man, yung turnovers, yung steals, yung interceptions can create offense. So we concentrate more on the defensive schemes during practices. Although minsan, I remember there was one time we were so concentrated on our defensive scheme. Magaling rin yung depensa nung kalaban. Hindi medyo hindi kami masyado nakapag-practice ng offense. So, medyo doon kami pumalpak. Medyo yun yung naging problema na we couldn't set up our offense. So yun din ang problema, naging problema namin noon. So, but again, if I'm going to rate, siguro mas 60-40, 55-45, more on defense pa rin.
Thank you, Coach John. I agree with you po na parang defense wins games also. But also with the latter part, with what you said na you need both to actually win games. Hindi, you can't parang have more of one and less of the other. Kailangan talaga patas or halos patas to win games. Let's have next, Coach Juan.
Ako, Monique, Tama ba, Monique? Ako ba?
Yes, coach.
Ako, defense. Sa defense, nag-i-start yung offense ko eh. Once na nakakuha ko ng steal, instant offense sa akin agad yun. Nababawasan ko ng more points yung star player nila or yung main two guy nila. So, kailangan ma-stop ko yun. Pag na-stop ko yun, mas malaki ang chance ako manalo. So, defense ang ang mas priority ko.
Thank you, Coach Ron. Gusto ko yung sagot nyo. Agree po ako doon. Let's have Coach Josh next.
Yeah, agree ako with Coach Ron and Coach John. Defense din, pero of course, di mo pwedeng iwan yung offense. Di naman pwede stop ka lang na stop, di rin kayo makashoot. But yung defense kasi, lagi namin sinasabi, walang bad day sa defense. Eh. Walang field goal percentage yan. So, it's all effort yan. Parang decision mo yan kung magdidepensa ko hindi. Kasi sa offense naman, di mo makakontrol if malas ka. May mga days naman talagang ayaw sumut ng bola. Pero sa defense, parang ikaw magde-decide kung gaano mo kagalingan sa defensive side ng court.
Thank you, Coach Josh. Thank you to all the coaches for your answers. May follow-up question po ako. Since sinabi niyo po na defense is what you prioritize more. When it comes to crucial moments, paano niyo na-draw up yung play for the last second game winner or last second stop for you to win that crucial game? Let's have Coach Ron.
Una, kailangan mabasa ko muna yung tempo ng game. Kung anong binibigay ba ng kalaban sa akin. Like for example, more on defense niya ba sa akin, match up or zone. Pag may match up ako, siyempre kailangan ko hanapin yung weakness ng kalaban. Saan ako makakakuha ng mismatch? Saan ako magkakaroon ng advantage sa kalaban para makuha ko yung goal ko na mas madali kong may panalo. Kung binigay nila sa akin na, for example, last shot kami, siyempre ibibigay ko sa go-to guy ko, mag-start player ko. Last shot, sa kanya ko ibibigay. Yun.
Thank you, Coach. Let's have Coach John next.
We usually draw up plays the practice na namin. We make it simple. Kasi since, again, I coach mga 10, 11, 12, 13 players. So medyo, pag nagbigay ka ng complicated, hindi talaga masusunod eh. So it's very important that na-practice nyo na yon, yung scheme na yon. You just make it simple, less complicated, and like what Coach Ron said, depende rin sa binibigay ng kalaban. Although minsan may bulaga din yung kalaban sa iyo. The whole time they're playing zone, biglang pang, man to man. So you have to be prepared for the inevitable. So you just have to remind the boys na again, kung ano yung pre-practice. Although minsan di rin naman nasusunod talaga eh. Kahit na anong practice, minsan iba yung pinapakita nung kalaban na depensa or yung sunod ng tao. So, mas importante, hit the open man.
Thank you, Coach John. I agree with you po na preparation is really the key kasi di mo talaga alam kung ano yung gagawin ng kalaban eh. Let's have si Coach Josh po.
Okay.
Yes, Coach Ron. Coach Ron, nakamute po kayo.
Nakamute po kay Coach Ron.
Nakamute kayo, Coach Ron. Ayan na yung tech problem natin, Coach Ron.
Sige, go ahead na ba?
Yan.
Oh, wala na putol.
Hindi ako, bro, Monique, so I have to cut it short. May schedule si yung ibang coaches natin, and I think si Coach Ron was trying to say something also, baka nagmamadali na siya. Again, as usual, bitin every yung 1 hour lang, Coach, Brother Brian, sobrang bitin. I'd like to give the floor to the coaches, if you want to say something, promote your son's restaurant, Coach John. Josh, let us know what you want to say, and do a shout out to anybody. Please feel free. Go ahead, Coach John.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Dodo for inviting us here, for inviting me here for ProEx. Again, more power to ProEx basketball. I'd like to promote Mighty Sports apparel and accessories. Chicken and egg. That's my son's online. Try it. He's in IG and Facebook. And Dental B toothbrushes.
Yun lang, Coach.
By the way, you might I'm a dentist by profession.
Okay, that's it, Coach. Wala ka na?
Wala na.
Okay. Again, I'd like to thank you, Coach John, for saying yes to this podcast. Maraming salamat sa'yo. Coach Josh, ikaw, meron ka bang mga shout out or po-promote?
Just I'd like to thank the ProEx family to inviting me sa interview. I was there nung pinakauna ba yun, sir? Yung pinakaunang camp natin.
Yes.
So, happy and proud to be part of the ProEx family. And thank you kay Sir Brian, to Monique. Tapos sabihin ko lang na I was honored to be interviewed with Coach John kasi sobrang idol ko si Coach John. So, compared sa career ni Coach John, sobrang layo pa ng lalakbayin ko as a coach. So, ayun lang. Coach, thank you sa mga kinakausap ko na si Coach John yung mga advice. Same with Coach Ron, sila yung mga idol nating coaches. Relatively young coach pa naman. So, I was honored to be interviewed with them.
Maraming salamat, Coach. Monique, I think you can speak in behalf of Coach Ron. Yung tournament nila, yung grupo nila, please promote that for him if you know it. Thanks, Monique.
For in behalf of Coach Ron, I would like to promote Batang Pilipino Basketball League. It is a inter-barangay po ata yun. Games will start once everything goes well and when IATF approves leagues such as BPBL. So for me naman, I would like to say hi to my family, my family in Iligan and in Valenzuela. Thank you for watching. Tita O'Neill, thank you for watching also. I'd like to promote, if you want your car to be serviced, we have Honda Cars, Caloocan, Green Hills, and Manila. We also have Isuzu Commonwealth and Geely Manila, which is opening soon, their showroom in Otis, Manila. So, yes. Thank you for having me again today. Thank you, Coach John, Coach Josh, Sir Brian, and Tito Dodo, and ProEx for allowing me to co-host my second show.
Again, pasingit lang, Coach Sir Brian. I'd like to promote also in behalf of Coach Nats. I know he was at the 101 resto bar at that he owns. It's in Pasig. near yung Ace Water Spa. And he also is part of bellybest.ph, which is on Instagram and Facebook also. So yun lang. Again, thank you ProEx family. Thank you very much.
Dodo,
Thanks,
yeah,
everyone.
101.
Yes,
It's
101.
in Capitolio.
Yes.
Oh, neighbor ko siya. I live in
Okay.
Capitolio. Puntahan ko nga siya minsan.
So yun, doon siya nag-stream kanina in front of that.
Okay.
Nice. And patugtog tayo ng 80s, 90s doon, coach.
Pwede.
Once everything is
Pwede.
party tayo. Again,
yes.
thank you everybody. Thank you for guesting. And again, Sir Brian, maraming salamat sa iyo. And kakampihan kita sa 2022 elections. Thank you.
Ha? Napunta sa election bigla yung usapan. Anyway, thank you again. Thank you, Coach John, Coach Josh, Coach Nats, and Coach Ron. Na pumapasok pa si Coach Ron actually. Hindi lang matuloy. Thank you again, Monique and bro, for this good episode. And next week, kaya ano naman kaya pakulo mo?
We'll
Anyway,
see.
sige, let's not keep them long. I believe they have something to do. Everybody, have a good dinner, good night, and stay safe. God bless.
Hindi ako susuko, lalaban hanggang sa dulo. Hindi ako susuko, lalaban hanggang sa dulo. Taglay ko, ang puso ng kampiyon. 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 Taglay ko, ang puso ng kampiyon.
Makakamit mo pangarap, huwag na huwag kang bibitaw. Limitado ang paligid, layuan mo ang tanaw. Daming rason para sumubok, buhay natin isa lang. Hindi paramihan, kundi kung